What's up, guys? I'm Chance, and this is Cheers. Got a couple announcements to start off the episode. First off, what day is this? It is Wednesday, so start expecting an episode consistently every Wednesday. I'm going to make it easy on you, me, maybe every Thursday, depending on when this comes out. So if this comes out on a Wednesday or if it comes out on a Thursday, that dictates the set schedule. So just be ready for consistency. On top of that, as always, my phone number, 858-621-3877. Give me a call. And I'm also working on a new filming space. Wouldn't really call it a studio. It's just in my garage, but there's a lot more space for activities down there than there is right here. Of course, like and subscribe if you enjoy the episode. We're leading the charge. You might ask yourself, the charge for what? The charge for life. Because here at Cheers, we choose life. Wow. That burns. Well, surprise, surprise, we're going back into lockdown. But then and again, you look at what's been going on during the first part of lockdown, and I don't know why there is surprise. I don't know why we're questioning what's going on. Fucking on Memorial Day itself, half of America watched Ozarks from their couch, and then the other half were in the Ozarks fucking taking Jello shots and doing anal. I don't know what we were thinking, but COVID doesn't stop spreading on a federal holiday. It just doesn't. As much as your USPS driver might not drop off the mail on Memorial Day, COVID's still going to spread. On top of that, entanglement. Entanglement? It sounds like Black Hollywood finally found out about that Japanese tentacle pleasure. At least to me. And then, when I used to be young and full of life, very squirrely, vainier than I am now, I thought you would meet the worst type of people in the world in an opium den, or maybe one of those STD-filled brothels. But now that I am about 22, and I've been to both of those places, those are not where you meet the worst type of people. It's actually on Snapchat. But let's get started with the episode. As always, I'm Chance, and this is Cheers. Thanks for tuning in. So, guys, what's up, guys? All right, guys, I'm Chance. Everyone has a podcast, so guess it's my fucking turn. I got 3 fully loaded cabooses. Cheers. Let's get this bitch rolling. But yeah, $200,000 a year. Right? We know where he's coming from. Go to the beach. Big booty Latina. Illustrating what's wrong in our society. Authentic, handmade, original Chance Cablay. I want humanity to stay on Earth. This is Cheers. Alright, so starting off, why did we think that COVID went on a fucking summer break too? Viruses don't sleep. If money doesn't sleep, why would COVID sleep? Because COVID is obviously created to increase the divide between the rich and the poor. That's what I've been told from a variety of different people. And these might not be the most trustworthy people, but they told me this information nonetheless. And I could see it. Maybe the airline industry really just wanted a couple days off. So COVID came out. Or maybe people are really just profiting. Who would be out there to profit? Who are some of the essential workers out there right now? Think about the Amazon delivery drivers. Who has made close to $60 billion just over quarantine alone? Jeff Bezos, richest man in the world. I don't know. It's up in there. This is what I'm told by some very sketchy and shady people, so I'm definitely not going to trust them blindly, but it's out there. That might be the case. Or, a better answer, we might just not know how to quarantine. And I'm not talking about the people going to Miami Beach, they definitely have to do with it. Because there are a lot of people going to Miami-Dade County out in Florida. I wish I was there. I know it doesn't sound like the smartest method to quarantine, but if I was there, I'd be shaking a leg. And there are a lot of people out there doing that exact thing right now. But it's not just them. It's also the people protesting for police reforms, for Black Lives Matter, for trans Black Lives Matter. All of those are amazing causes. Very admirable. But at the end of the day, viruses don't give a shit about civil rights. They just don't. I'm not saying don't fight for what you believe in, but don't act like social justice can substitute for social distancing when it comes to stopping the spread of COVID, because it can't. It can't. There are people out there marching in the tens of thousands for police reform. I don't know if it's that big, maybe thousands, but tens of thousands sounds right for how heated this whole country is over these protests, over the police brutality examples we've witnessed. Those are horrendous. And so, yeah, a lot of people are coming out to protest, but there's a pandemic going on. So when people come at you and say, I don't know why there's a second wave, it's because we protested. Trust me, I was out there too. We definitely protested. But I'm not surprised as to why we're getting a second wave. It's quite obvious. Very obvious, actually. If you just go on your Snapchat map and you click on any place with a big red dot, probably protests going on. It's like going to, I don't know, it's like going to a red light district, say a red light district in Amsterdam or Bangkok, and saying you only wanted to support the local culture with some cash, maybe some cock. Because you went out there to support the local culture. If you go in raw dog, that doesn't mean because you're there to support something, you have immunity from sexually transmitted diseases. You just don't. And I will admit, if we want this to go away, we need to start social distancing. But another thing we can do is each individual one of us can start working on our own health. We could make that one of our priorities. Make one of our priorities boosting our own immune system. And so that might mean we have to go for a swim or a run or do some push-ups or sit-ups. We all had to do it in 6th grade physical education. We learned how to do fitness, but why don't we do it? I don't know. And I just think that, okay, the masks, it is very considerate to prevent you spreading any of your germs to one another, but if I was in someone else's shoes that's obese, I wouldn't want to have to depend on someone else considering my compromised immune system. Instead, I'd rather fix that problem of the compromised immune system itself, go run some shit, and then even if someone out there isn't considerate and they spread those germs to me, I get COVID, my immune system is built to deal with that. It's built to deal with those pathogens effectively. Instead of encountering some sort of very detrimental pathogen and you're trying to fight it with a compromised immune system, that is a recipe for disaster. So instead, just go out there, get some vitamin D. Go running. Decrease those cortisol levels. Get some better sleep. Maybe eat a bowl of spinach. Something. And for all you couch warriors out there, simple adjustment. Maybe instead of going out and buying that ball of Southern Comfort tonight, go for a run. See how it makes you feel. Do it a couple times a week. And if it doesn't make you feel better at the end of the week, then alright. Admit defeat. If that's really what you want to do, go and admit defeat. I'm not going to admit defeat, but I'm not the person telling you not to. But I am here recommending something for you to do when you want to grab success. when you want to be victorious in making your life better. Put down that alcohol. But, of course, this comes with a grain of salt because, as I tell everyone, don't trust most people when they talk to you about health. One of my friends who's been into fitness, and I will admit, he is a little bit more muscular than most people. He's been telling me if I really want to be healthy, drink some of that lactate, some of that mother's milk. And I just can't, I couldn't respect myself if I went out of my way to ask mother for her milk. Especially like a mother that's recently given birth. Could not respect myself if I asked her to give me some of her lactate. That's what the baby needs. The baby needs that to grow to a full human being. But he told me, I told him that, and he told me that there's a website. There's a subscription-based website called Only the Breast. And first, I stopped trusting websites that people recommend to me ever since someone told me about ZoobTube 365. I don't know why I visited the website, but I did, and it was a horrible mistake. But that's the point. People tell you a bunch of bullshit about health. Like, someone told me the other day, if you ever come across ED, like if you have erectile dysfunction, pop on the third season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians and get completely naked. Problem solved. Someone told me if I have a weak back, or if my back is really rigid, it's not limber anymore, eat 5 fucking bacon Hot Pockets. And you can't eat any less than 5, otherwise it won't work. Something about the chemistry. And I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It's not something I want to endorse or put my trust in. But we can rely on things that have been proven in the past, like exercise, vitamin D. Take some exogenous supplements to improve your overall nutrient levels. Something like that. But don't go to any subscription site that wants to sell you monthly packages of mother's lactate. I just would not trust that myself. I don't know. It's tough. And so let's go into entanglement. Why are we acting so surprised at the fact that the Hollywood scene is into these polygamous open relationships? Maybe like swinging, something like that. It's like the Olympics. You are there. First off, you are one of these, a physical specimen of the human race. You're on top in terms of physicality. And you're surrounded by other physical specimens of the human race. I think just by our nature, just by how we're built as people, we're motivated to breed with those people. We're motivated to breed with whoever would give our infants the best physical traits. And so, to some extent, I think that same pressure is in Hollywood. You might not be the most physically apt people in the world, but you do have talents that the regular person normally doesn't. That is for sure. And it's just not surprising to me that the actors, actresses in Hollywood would be out there fucking like a rabbit. Ever since we saw Eyes Wide Shut, what else do you think we're doing? Not we're, but what else do you think they're doing? Literally just masquerade balls and a lot of anal, drug-induced sex. I couldn't imagine anything else going on. And it just so happens that some guy came out and screwed the pooch. This guy, August, admitted that him and Jada Jada admitted they were having a different type of entanglement when her and Will were on a break. And this came after this guy, August. You can never really trust anyone that's named after the time of a year, August. But he revealed that him and Jada were in some sort of infidelity. And then Jada and Will were expected to make some sort of statement in regards to it. And Jada said, yeah, we were in a different type of entanglement. She came out with Will and talked about the red table talk. And everyone's so surprised. First, do we not think that Will Smith is getting that cooch too? Who does not think that? Will Smith is definitely getting laid. I don't know by who, but if Jay's getting laid, the Fresh Prince is for sure getting laid. He was one of the last people on Earth. He saved New York multiple times from fucking criminals. Will Smith's the guy. And I think it's just the fact that all of this is out here, that it's being so exposed and so blown up by the media, that we're reacting to it. I don't think there's any other reason why. I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing what fame brings, because a lot of people, they do these open relationship type things, but they say it and we'll just be like, oh, that's weird. That's not something that I'm into. But Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith come out and they say they're doing the polygamy, and we are flabbergasted. We don't even know how to react. I'm just surprised I'm questioning why this got as much publicity as it did. I'll think about it. I'll tell you guys what my final thoughts are once I've had some time to process it and just mull it over next week or something. And so the other week on Snapchat, some guy adds me. His name's Hobo Doctor. And I think he added me because I've been using my Snapchat to try and market this podcast. I've just been posting clips. And he messages me and he says, hey, can you interview me? And off the bat, I don't know exactly who this guy is. I ask him, well, who are you? Why should I interview you? Because I don't have any other interviews up right now. And he says, I'm Hobo Doctor. That doesn't tell me much. The only thing I could really get from this guy is he kind of had that, like, I don't know, he had a mouth piercing right here or right here. A little weird. He likes smoking Virginia Slims, those VG Slims. And he had that homoerotic vibe about him. I don't know what his actual sexuality was, but he kind of struck me as someone from Dallas Buyers Club. And yeah, just off the bat, I was a little precarious about him, but I said, yeah, I will interview you. What do you want me to interview? And he said, I have a mission. Wanted him to elaborate. He said, my mission is to destroy the monetary system. What does that mean? What does it mean when you want to destroy the monetary system? That's what they wanted to do in Fight Club. Trying to do some Fight Club shit? Everyone wants to get involved in some underground boxing ring these days, I've heard. I don't get it. My friend, Andre Guzman, he was telling me the other day that his business plans have shifted from a mobile pot dispensary as well as coffee shop to an underground boxing ring. And I don't know where that transition came or how those ideas are related in any way, shape, or form, but that's what he's interested in now. And so this guy, Hobo Doctor, tells me, yeah, I want to destroy the monetary system. I just choose not to ask any questions. I say, yeah, if you, like, just promote my channel so we could get as many viewers to the interview as possible when it comes out. And it'll go well. It'll do very well depending on our marketing. And he agrees. So he starts marketing me a little bit. That was a bad idea. Because I soon realized after watching his stories, this guy is not a doctor. He's just a hobo. And he's hanging out with other transients. I don't know. He was in these crisis houses, and it's just something that's, It's like one of those TJ Chihuahuas. It's hard to keep track of. You might have a collar on them, but they're going to be on the south side of town before you know it. And so you just watch and you're like, oh, this is not a guy I want to have even within 50 yards of my house. It would not make me feel safe. So I kind of just stopped messaging him. I stopped messaging him for a while, and then I noticed he stopped posting on his Snapchat. And I think, maybe he's just getting some help. Hopefully he's just getting some help, because this person is not in a stable place to be just out in society. But I realize he's not getting help. I start getting these messages on Instagram. I get this message from this one girl in Vegas, and just from the information I could gather in her Instagram biography, she is an ex-urban dancer and a vet. She writes in the message verbatim, she starts off, "Eyes, a friend of Hobo Doctor." And eyes is spelled I''S. One thing I've learned in my 22 years of life, you're not a vet if you start your sentences off with eyes. You are no one in the medical field. So I'm a little suspicious of that. But she asks me, have you heard anything from Hobo Doctor? I think he's dead. I don't know where she got that assumption, but it wouldn't seem too far off base. And I just say, I respond with all the information I know, that I have no idea where he is. That's all the information I know. And so then I start getting more of these messages from people that claim to be from Hobo Doctor's family. And I just don't know why people are contacting me about Hobo Doctor. No involvement whatsoever. Besides the fact that he had me on Snapchat. And that's what I'm saying. He might not be the worst guy, but people you don't want to meet, you meet them on social media. Where it used to be, you used to meet these shady people in like a bar or something. Now you meet them on social media. That's not cool. Social media first was something for you and your friends to communicate, so you could just keep up. And now, it's all about getting into these chat rooms and getting half naked, showing as much skin as he can to these strangers. And when I was a kid, I was personally taught not to talk to strangers. But now in this world, you are better off the more you know how to talk to strangers. It's weird. It is weird. Look at that girl, Addison Rae. Hot as all hell. But does she know anyone that really stares at her for 6 hours a day? I doubt it. Does she want to know any of the people that spend 6 hours a day staring at her? I doubt it. That raises a lot of ifs, ands, and buts about our modern society, especially in terms of internet security. That is something I will watch out for. Now I'm just going off on a tangent, but the people you'll meet out on the cyber web, they'll make you raise your eyebrow. They're definitely interesting folk. I don't know too much about this guy, Hobo Doctor. I do truly hope the best is going for him, and I hope that he is not dead. I hope that someday we might get to do that interview. But as of right now, all I know is that we're going to keep on trucking, guys. We're going to keep on trucking. Again, let me pull up my hotline. That is 858-621-3877. 858-621-3877. Give me a call. And I think I'm going to get this out by today. So, pretty sure Wednesday. Expect a new episode every Wednesday, guys. Every Wednesday. Whatever you do on Wednesday, if you show up here, you can expect a new episode. That's all you can know. Besides that, we're probably going to be in a new filming space next week. And yeah, as always, I'm Chance Cablay. Thank you guys for tuning in. Listening to what I have to talk about, what's on my mind. Sorry I didn't come out with an episode last week, but yeah, we're all in this together, guys. Take care of yourself as always, and I'll see you next week. So guys, what's up guys? Alright guys, I'm Chance. Everyone has a podcast, so guess it's my fucking turn. I got 3 fully loaded cabooses. Cheers. Let's get this bitch rolling. But yeah, $200,000 a year. Right? We know where he's coming from. Go to the beach. Big booty Latina. Illustrating what's wrong in our society. Authentic, handmade, original Chance Cablay. I want humanity to stay on Earth. This is cheers.